But just to say, in terms of this school here, I just want to point out that Downhills is above the floor targets, and Downhills' strength, and I speak as one of the co-chairs of our PTA, is our community. This is a really, really strong community school, and that is why we have got this campaign going. Because we're a strong community, we work together, we support each other, and we care about our children in this school, and we support our schools.
An open discussion. Okay, is there anybody who wants to say anything? I'd like to say something. Where's the MP for Hornsey and Wood Green?
The Tory approach to the academies was take the outstanding schools. Take the schools that are already doing quite well for whatever reason, give them more money. So the other schools that aren't doing so well make that worse. And as a teacher, you don't say, the kids are doing really well, here's some more resources and a computer. You lot, you can have a pencil and go away. It doesn't work like that. You actually do the opposite. You give more resources to the schools that need more resources. And I just want to, it's a kind of question to the panel actually. We had a fantastic campaign at Stoke Newington, and we never had a meeting as big as this, but we did have parents every week at the farmers market on the street campaigning. We had letters into the local press every week. All of us teachers went to the governor's meetings, because it's governors who are trying to do it. They could never make a decision without looking us in the eye while they're making the decision. And crucially, I think, we brought in the power that we have as teachers, as a collective, of withdrawing our labour. We had indicative ballots over whether we strike if they made us an academy. And I think with the pensions fight, with all the things that we're facing, the austerity from the government, I think it's quite clear when teachers go on strike and all the other millions of workers, things get very quiet on the streets. We do have a lot of power, and I'd like to know, I hope we don't have to go that far. Nobody wants to go on strike. You lose money for one thing, nobody wants to do it. But I'd like to know how far Christine particularly would go in supporting the campaign to make sure we do stop this Tory flagship in its stead. Because if we win this, I tell you, we can win on so many things.
Because the fact is that there are workers in a whole range of unions who are part of the school. So let's make sure that this is as coordinated and as unified a campaign as we can possibly have. But yes, we will talk to staff about whether that's an option that we should use at some stage.
We are not enemies of privatisation, enemies of promise, we are enemies of privatisation. Good luck to you both.
My name is Dave Gilchrist. I'm a teacher at Knoll Park Primary, one of the 4 schools involved in this. I'm also a parent at that school, because that was my confidence in the teachers and the school there, was that I brought my own child to that school. My other 2 children have gone through the education system in Haringey as well, doing very well at Hornsey School for Girls. And I think that's one of the big things we say. What are our schools like? What is Knoll Park like? First of all, it's in an area of deprivation. We have a high number of new people coming into the school every year. About 1/3 of our classes change every year. Does Michael Gove know this, do you think? Does he have a programme to deal with this? He hasn't told us about it if he has. In fact, he said nothing educationally whatsoever. But it's not only that we have a 1/3 change. There are teachers sitting here who are now teaching the grandchildren of children that they taught when they first came into the school. So the school both deals with new people, but is also a rock to the community. We believe our school should stay part of the community. And the answer to the question over here is, what is the alternative to the academy? The thing is, if the academy fails, you have no say in the matter. There will be no parent governors, there will be no local authority that you can re-elect. There will be a company, Lord Harris or somebody like that, who run the school. And just the last thing, I know I'm defying Clive's thing to be short, but I've lived in this borough since 1986. I've never seen a meeting this size since the 80s. I think this makes me very, very hopeful.
We're in this fight together. We want you to win. You win is our school not have to go through the terror of the Forced Academy status. And why does God want to be the academy? He says to raise standards. But we know that's not the answer. There is no magic bullet. But Forced Academy is about big business making a profit out of our schools and out of our kids. The last thing I want to say is this is an absolutely fantastic meeting. I think this is an amazingly clear message to Michael Gove. Hands off downhills, hands off all schools in Haringey.
I'm a teacher at Downhills Primary School. I'm also a governor and an MT rep here. If academies are so good, why have we got a 3-week deadline to try and find a sponsor that changes 100 years of education? Or the democratically elected governors will be replaced. If it's such a good idea, why not convince people? Why not give us time to find a sponsor?
Do we want to privatise and deregulate our education system and let that go to us? Absolutely no chance. Gove has got an agenda, it's a big businessman's agenda, he's got corporations who want to run 1,000 schools. Unless we make a stand and fight, unless we unite all the schools, and every school in Haringey supports these 4 schools, Gove will get his way, and we'll have a market in education which will set us back and our children back for decades. So
there are many excellent head teachers in this room, I know some of them. And those head teachers could come together and support the head teachers in the schools that are in special needs. That's what a local family of schools is all about. It's not about sending parachuting private business. It's about building capacity within Haringey. We have the answers. We know our community. Don't go tell us the answers. We'll work out the answers. But the local authority have got to get a grip because they've been slow and they need to move much faster.
It's not one quick fix. It's by a good head, it's by staff being treated well, by having a belief in the community and involving the community more. In fact, I'd say one of the ingredients has been bringing staff in-house. So now we don't have outsourced catering, we don't have outsourced team. I'm also a governor of the school, I've been a governor for 5 years, so I know quite of the detail of how the school is run. We brought in those staff in-house because they have more of an involvement in the community. So I do not believe that private sector involvement makes schools better, not as good as it is now.
I've tried not to make political points, but I've got to say, I think with all the knowledge in this room of the London Borough of Haringey, it is a disgrace and a shame that my colleague across the water in Hornsey and Wood Green has shown absolutely no resistance to Michael Gove whatsoever.
Because we need to improve the school. It's all about the kids. It's not about what we think or what the politicians think. It's what the kids need and what's good for the kids. So what's the alternative to the academy?
What we see is a number of ways in which you improve schools. Sometimes it's about the head teacher. Sometimes it's about the senior leadership team. If you look at this year's results, as I've said, there are 2,500 schools with performance worse than this one. This is a school above the floor targets, likely to be on 64% once the rationing is done. So that is not an underperforming school, despite the fact that it's had an underperforming couple of years. We do not turn our backs on a school that is at the heart of this constituency, that has generated so much success over so many years, and simply caricature it and the parents and governors in the way that has happened. And that's why we must resist this suggestion that somehow this school is failing with discipline problems, with poor standards, poor teaching across the board. I have seen that in some schools, but I don't recognise it in this school.
We've got a headmaster here who's an inspiring man. Absolutely. You want to improve this school, Mr. Grove, yeah? What you can do is treat us the same as you treat some of the other inner London schools, or the way you treat us.